Right then, let's get a move on. Got things planned to do this week, or at least in this episode. You know, gonna put a little bit of a body kit on my car instead of doing engine upgrades. And then I've got a magazine cover to get on. So, you know, as well as I want to do I want to do a race or two as well. So that's the plan for this week. First things first is get some body kit upgrades. So I've got to head back down to the same body shop that I've been using this entire time. The only one that I've used so far in this game. I think usually this one works out to be the one that I use the most. I don't know how that is. It's just that in an open world game you end up, even if there's a whole bunch of shops that all do the same thing, you end up having one that you always end up going to. I wouldn't call it a favorite. You know, it's not like you deliberately seek out going there, but you always end up there somehow. So I just unlocked some bonnets, and I think that one is the nicest looking. I should probably go full, madman on this game and just pick the most ugly retarded shit because it's Underground 2. But I at least kind of sort of want to, you know, have some semblance of taste. So, you know, I'll try and be a wee bit tasteful. Oh shit, I can't afford it. For fuck's sake. Why do these things always happen, man? I mean, really. Oh well. And I'm definitely not taking away from my I'm not gonna remove a nice set of pop-up headlights. So that's enough of that. You know, I've upped my visual rating a wee bit, and that's good enough for me. You know, I didn't get to put on a full body kit like I kind of sort of wanted to, but I put on some good upgrades. I feel, you know, I've improved my ability to gain nitrous and stuff, which is good because I actually installed it. I was about to say I don't even have nitrous, but I do. So that's fine. I just need to make sure that in my in this magazine cover over here, that they only take pictures of the front of the car, because that's where I put the majority of my money. So I've got 2 minutes to get somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where it is, but the map isn't too big on this game, so 2 minutes is enough time.
There's a pretty sweet bonus in there if you do. I'll call you later.
Even if you get a little bit lost. You're probably supposed to read, in the messages it tells you where you're supposed to be going, and it probably would have helped me if I'd have actually read that instead of just sort of heading towards the star on the minimap. And it would also help if I didn't fucking crash out. But, you know, I've got oodles of time, so it doesn't matter too much. As usual. Doesn't matter. There we go. Picture. As I said, I've got to make sure it's the front of the car. Let's get my rims in as well. There we go. Perfect.
Hey, I've been hearing a lot of you lately. You're getting to be a real heavy out there.
And I got some decent money for that as well. And there's a race just around the corner here, which is perfect because I said I wanted to be doing a little bit of body kits, a magazine cover, and some racing. So now we've done the first two things, so now we're on the third thing. This is going good. This is going well. I'm enjoying myself. I'm not, you know, throwing my toys out the pram and pissing myself like I was in the first Underground. You know, this time things are nice and relaxed. And if I could not get turned around, I'd be a lot more relaxed. I looked away just as that guy started trying again. So it's lucky I always keep the corner of my eye on what's going on the screen. I've learned my lesson from a lot of looking away in other games. That now I always need to be keeping track of what I'm up to. I also need to stop putting massive pauses in the middle of sentences. I don't know why I do it, but I do. I think it's a little bit annoying. I can understand pausing in the middle of a sentence to take a breath, but when you're just pausing for little to no reason all the time, like I think I just did just a second ago just now, then it's you know, it's, yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's another one of the huge improvements in this game when compared to the first Underground, and that's that the boost can actually recharge. You can earn more boost, which is fantastic and useful because the races in this game, I'm pretty sure they get longer than they do in the first Underground. Although I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure they do. It's just nice to be able to use boost more than once in a race. Although, like I was talking about in the final episode of the first Underground, I still feel like the final race in this game is a little bit of an anticlimax because it's not it doesn't go all the way around the map, you know. It cuts off like the top half, which is, you know, they could have done better, is what I'm trying to say. You know, the final races on Most Wanted were more all-encompassing because they did each different type of event. The final race on Carbon is, you know, while it's the same as all the other boss races, you just do one circuit in the city and then one canyon run. You know, canyon racing is still fucking rad, so, you know, I'm more than happy to have a boss fight be that, you know. But this game, you know, well, not first open world open racing game, but first, like, good open world racing game. I feel like they could have done more with the final race. You know, made it a big one that goes all the way around the map. All they'd have had to do really is add a second road that goes up into the Heights area. And then, you know, voila, you've got a way to go all the way around the map without having to use the same road more than once. Well, what do I know? You know, I'm just a guy. This game came out in 2004, so I'm just a guy sitting around whinging about, you know, why the final race was too short. Something like 14 years later. So I don't think it's anyone needs to be worrying about anymore. But still, you know, this game could have been that tiny little increment more impressive, the tiny little increment better. And it wasn't. But oh well. Now that I've upgraded my car, I'm sure it's been like this for an episode or two at least, but now that I've upgraded my car, I'm finally getting opponents that aren't just more of the same car. You know, it's actually able to be balanced, more or less. The max number of opponents in this game, I mean, in the regular street races, it's just 4, same as first Underground. But I know that in the Underground Racing League races, you know, it's something like, it's at least 6, might even be 8 or 12. And I remember that because for a little while there, every other Need for Speed game had a big amount of opponents. Like in In the first Underground, your maximum amount of opponents was 4. And then in Underground 2, you know, you had the special races, the Underground Racing Leagues, which let a lot more cars in. And then, sorry, I've got the burps or something. And then in Most Wanted, your maximum amount of opponents was 4. And then in Carbon, you had the Race Wars races, which had a fucking million cars in them. And then, you know, in Pro Street, it was around about 8 cars in each race, although a lot of that was multi-class stuff, so you only had 4 opponents again. But I know there were races where you had more than that. You know, as they became more and more able to develop games, I guess, or keep frame rates up while there were more cars knocking about, or something. I don't know what it was that they did, but yeah, that's kind of a weird little bit of trivia that probably no one's noticed. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the only one that's noticed it. I'm probably the only one that's like actually talked about it as if it's worth talking about, because it's, God knows it's not. Wow, great. You know how many people it's possible to race against at once in a couple of Need for Speed games. Good job. You're a virgin. Yeah, and what? Shit. Shit. Lost a position. There's not a lot of whole. There's not a whole lot of this race left. Oh fuck. There's not a whole lot of this race left either. I'd better get a fucking move on. Although I could probably just like shortcut this entire next section, catch up a wee bit. He's 5 seconds ahead. Probably because I fucked up. That would probably be the answer. Oh, I might have just noticed something about the opponents. Right, so I like to have my name set in racing games so that I fit in with all of the AI and stuff. I like to fit in with the AI. I don't know why, I just do. Right, I like to have, you know, if all the AI have name nicknames and stuff, I'll enter my player name as a nickname. But, you know, if all the AI have regular names, I'll just name myself something, you know, I'll just write Joe in. And I can't believe how fucking far ahead of me he got in that final stage of the race. You know? So we're gonna have to go again. On a long track in slow shit cars. Fantastic. Let's try again. Oh shit. Well, both of the MX-5s fucked that up. And now, whatever that guy that's ahead is in, he's already pulled a gap. So, you know, here you can see that the AI are all named Matt and Greg. So I probably should have written in Joe instead of Lurkio, but whatever. It's fine. I'm sure there are drivers in this game that go by nicknames, so I'm going to be able to get away with Lurkio, I reckon. In the first Underground, my racing name was Joe, because that's my real name. And the AI in that game mostly had nicknames, so I was a little bit out of place. Or at least, they were named things like Dirt, which I'm pretty sure no parent names their kid Dirt. And then when you get to the Xbox 360 stuff, where you have racing games that assign your gamer tag to be your racing name, your player name, sorry, and you can't change it, and all of the AI either have, you know, normal names or like more regular nicknames like Slick and Lightning, and you know, you're Eagle Striker 9 or something. You stand out a little bit. I don't know. I wish all games let you decide what you wanted the game to, you know, call you in menus and stuff. But they don't, so, you know, whatever. It only takes like one menu as well. It's like, enter name. Beep boop beep, I want to be Lurkio. And then all it has to do is, instead of your gamer tag on race result menus, it just displays Lurkio instead. You know, what's wrong with that? Why is that an issue? Why was that an issue for like the entirety of this 360 generation and up to and including the present day? For fuck's sake, I need to pay attention. I threw away the last race by crashing on the final lap as well. Although that was more near the end of the lap, so I might have gotten away with that. Well, this episode is overrun a little bit, but you know, I'm still driving, so I'm not going to end an episode in the middle of a race. Besides, there's only a few more corners left, so I'll be finished. I'll be finished soon. I don't want to keep anyone longer than 15 minutes, because no one will be interested for that long. Even though my TT videos, you know, I guess by the time this episode goes up, I'll have started recording the TT again. The TT episodes regularly go above 20 minutes. You know, there's one that's more than an hour. That kind of stuff. But hey, what can you do? You know, I only have a certain amount of time to record, and if the game is having things last a little longer than I expected, then, you know, what am I going to do? Plus, I want to keep the same format of recording for TT Superbikes as what I started with. It's a format I've since dropped, although I did try using it for Racewalk Challenge as well. It's the one where you do one event per episode. And it turned out that Racewalk Challenge was too hard for me, so I had to stop doing things like that. But, you know, I've kept doing the TT like that because it's how I started and it's how I want to finish. I think I'll probably be back to recording the original Rallysport Challenge by the time this episode goes up, just because I want to do the last part to finish it, but I'm going to use a record for 15 minutes format for that as well. I'll probably be stuck on that hill climb forever.